What's going on, everybody? You're watching Beneath the Well. This is Derek here, and today I'm going to be going into Ferals Volume 1. Now, Ferals is a comic published by Avatar. It's written by David Lapham and illustrated by Gabriel Agrande. Now, I was not really feeling this comic, to be honest with you guys. There's a lot of issues with this comic. Mainly, my issue was the writing and the characters. Now, the writing is just it's just okay. I mean, pretty bad at parts. The characters are extremely forgettable, save like two, really. Most of them are just kind of just and like, I mean, obviously you can tell from the cover, it's werewolves is like the main theme. These giant, at least this one is unlike any werewolf I've really ever seen. It kind of more looks like gorilla werewolf or something like that, but. It starts off, the main character, Dale. Now, this guy is one of the most unlikable main characters I can honestly remember in recent memory of any books I've read lately, or comics. And he is a cop in this small town, and it starts off with his friend being gruesomely murdered. Like, horrifically, he's ripped open, they find his body. And it's pretty much like Dale's trying to figure out, like, get to the bottom of it, figure out what happened to his friend, who did it. He's like drinking at a bar. He's upset. He's pissed off his friend died. He ends up seeing this woman there, who's this other character, Gerda, and she's she's wearing a red dress. She's really attractive. It catches his eye, and he's just like, okay. He goes over there to talk to her. They talk briefly before things escalate, and they go in to the bathroom to have sex. It's intense, passionate sex, and she ends up like kind of egging him on in a way to piss him off. She like is asking him these weird questions like what his friend looked like when they found him, like how his body was, how mangled it was, And he gets him pissed off, and she's like kind of egging him on to hit her, and he does, and then he kind of just feels really weirded out by the whole encounter, he kind of leaves, and he ends up going, which is fun. This is another part where I come back to like how much of a jerk this dude is, like the main character Dale. Like he's in this bar upset about his friend's death, then he goes after that, after having sex with this just stranger, he goes to his friend's wife's house and then has sex with his friend's wife, and it's just like, and you can tell it's implied that it's not the first time, so it's just like, it's really disingenuous of the character. You find it hard to like really feel sympathy for this dude or anything he's trying to do, or you can't really relate to him. You can't really root him up, like be like, oh yeah, I hope he gets through all this, because it's just the way the character's set up. It's just hard to really care about anything that's going on, and the writing just doesn't complement that, doesn't help it in any way, and I find that the highlights of this comic are just mostly shock value gore. There's some cool parts, where some crazy shit happens and you're just like, oh damn, that's crazy, and I mean there's some funny parts, but it's more funny because the writing is just not that good, and the situation's just ridiculous that it's funny. It's not really like it was intended to be funny. But like, as you're going through it and you're trying to figure out what happened, what this beast is, it kind of like just the overall mystery behind it. Like when you find out what it is, it just turns out to kind of just be like a soap opera kind of thing, just with werewolves. It's just not very interesting to me personally. I won't spoil it for you guys if you intend on trying to read this comic or figuring it out, but for me personally, it just came off as just very just not very good. I just wasn't really that interested in the characters or the setting, and it's like because when he has sex with Gerda, it's like it just makes him obsessed with like this. He just sees her all the time. He's constantly trying to just like avenge her in a way, because after she dies, she's one of the victims, and he gets blamed for a lot of these deaths, because when he's at his friend's wife's house, she ends up getting attacked in her backyard, when he's still sleeping in her bed in the morning. And so the cops look at him like, okay, your friend just died, his wife just died, you were there, so you're a suspect. So he ends up becoming a suspect. So he's kind of running around trying to piece together this, but like his main motivation is Gerda in his head. You know, he sees her in his head. He's having these visions of her when she's not there, and it's just pretty much pushing him. And I feel like the overall ending just kind of is just, it just turns out like, oh hey, you know, he's just on this delusioned quest to avenge this chick who is really almost as shitty of a person as he is, if not more, you know. And it just really was just not sitting well with me. I just honestly, you know. So I mean, I'll just end it there. I mean, I really wasn't feeling this comic. I wouldn't really recommend it to you guys. If you want to try it out, hey, go for it. But yeah, that's Farrell's Volume 1. Tell me what you guys think. Did you guys read this comic? Did you like it? Did you hate it? If you haven't read it, do you think you'll read it? And if you do read it, I'm sorry. No, just, you know, but hey, it is what it is, I guess. They can't all be great. This is Derek with Beneath the Well. If you liked this video, please like it and share it with your friends. If you any support is greatly appreciated, as always. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.